Today on OC News,
Trump is back in court, this time suing the New York Times.
Student visas are in the spotlight with changes in immigration rules.
And Amazon takes the first steps towards satellite internet service with a successful launch.
All this and more on OC News.
This just now in tech news, the first responder on police.
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts.
Feel blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
OC News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this week's Late Show edition of OC News. I'm Guadalupe Caballero.
And I'm Jonathan Zarate. Thank you for tuning in to our second to last show before the end of the spring semester.
In his latest move of media scrutiny, former President Donald Trump is threatening legal action against the New York Times. This action comes in relation to his earlier lawsuit against CBS after the newspaper cited legal experts who called his case likely unlawful. Trump's $10 billion lawsuit alleges that CBS editing of a 60-minute interview with Vice President Kamala Harris caused interference with the 2024 election. He now is accusing the Times of being involved in the matter, allegedly that the paper's ongoing bias against him makes it legally responsible for interfering with his case. The New York Times has since responded, saying Trump's threats follow a pattern of attacks on the press and that the law clearly protects independent reporting, stating that the New York Times will not be deteriorated by the administration's intimidation tactics.
The effects of the escalating U.S.-China trade war are being felt both nationally and statewide across state ports. In California, the Port of Oakland is experiencing a significant slowdown, seeing reduced vessel traffic and lower cargo volumes. Local businesses and workers are already feeling the economic impact, with companies reporting struggles of insufficient work, leading to the consideration of job cuts. Business at the port has dropped more than 70%, and experts are saying the ongoing downturn could deliver a major blow to the region's economy. With China accounting for nearly 30% of the Port of Oakland's trade and being the port's largest import partner, soaring tariffs could stall shipments and bring the port's tightly coordinated operations to a halt.
A bill that passed earlier this week aims to protect individuals from revenge porn by implementing strict penalties against offenders. In January, Senators Amy Klobuchar and Ted Cruz introduced the Take It Down Act, which would require tech companies to quickly remove explicit images, including AI-generated content, posted without consent. The bill was passed by the House on Monday with a bipartisan support and now heads to the Senate amid ongoing concerns of digital exploitation and deepfake abuse. The First Lady Melania Trump has also backed the bill since last month. She lobbied House makers to pass the legislation, and the president is expected to sign the measure into law once it clears the Senate.
Concerns mount as the U.S. revokes visas for thousands of international students. Schools are pushing back, and communities worldwide are paying close attention. Reporter Raylene DeLeo has the full story.
Uncertainty grips Cal State Fullerton as federal crackdowns impact both international and immigrant students. Officials have revoked visas and questioned legal statuses, leaving many students scrambling to secure their futures. Now, CSUF students are speaking out and sharing their concerns.
So far, it has been a really nice experience. I find everybody in the administration here at Cal State Fullerton to be amazing. However, like everybody knows about, these past few weeks has been really stressful to me, definitely because I work in Titan TV. I want to be a journalist, so I consider that sharing your personal opinion and using your First Amendment right is something crucial in everybody else's life. And therefore, these past few weeks, I have been kind of silenced due to the current state of the government. It has really affected my life.
I know a lot of international students, especially through athletes and also through my fraternity itself. We have a few guys who are international students, and I get very concerned sometimes about what's going to happen with them. What's their learning situation going to be? Do they have to go home to their home countries and stuff like that? So that's only sometimes the thoughts I have, especially with them.
I just thought that it was a bad idea to revoke the student visa overall, because I feel that eventually, once the students get their degrees, they can contribute to the economy.
The CSU system released a statement on April 25th stating that legal statuses have been restored and the termination of 15 student and exchange visitor program records have been reversed as they continue to help those impacted by the situation. Some international students say the government revoked their visas or stripped their legal status over minor issues, like traffic tickets. Others say they still don't know why they were targeted, leaving them questioning the outcome of the situation.
It just makes me concerned about like other students, especially like student athletes or anything else like that too, just because students are here to learn and it makes no sense of why to.
It's definitely a lot of stress, but thank God they're already starting to give visas back. However, it's not the same, but I just hope everything gets better.
The Trump administration's immigration policies are continuously shifting. International and immigrant students at CSUF are holding on to hope and are fighting for the right to stay and get an education. This is Raylene DeLeo with OC News.
Coming up after the break, California's economy is 4th in the world, but the wage gap is hitting people hard. We've got that story.
And find out if Titans softball was able to extend their impressive win streak. Stay with us, folks.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Welcome back to OC News. April certainly didn't bring many showers, but the flowers are just around the corner. Brianna Delgadillo has our weekly weather forecast.
Thank you, guys. Let's take a look at what Mother Nature has planned for us. So today we are looking at cool temperatures. So it's not going to be too hot or it's not going to be too cold. We're looking at a high of 70 degrees with a low of 50 degrees. So you maybe want to bring a hoodie if you're planning to overthink your night on a late night walk. And then there'll be a light breeze at 8 miles per hour and humidity levels are at 48%. So it's a good hair day. Early risers caught the sunrise at 6:03 a.m. and then we can expect the sunset at 7:34 p.m. this evening. Now looking ahead at the week, Thursday and Friday will hold a steady with a high of 69 degrees. And then just a bit, or on Saturday drops a bit to a cooler sign to 67. Sunday brings in more clouds with a high of 62, but by Monday it will remain cool with 65 degrees. So no rain in the forecast, just a week of cool temperatures. That is it for this week's forecast. Stay cool like this weather. Now back to you guys at the desk.
A new innovation tech has come out of the Silicon Valley. The only difference is that this one can leave your stomach feeling satisfied. The city of Los Gatos, located in San Francisco Bay Area, saw a new innovation in the fast food industry. Burger Bots is a new restaurant where instead of humans assembling your food, a robot is in charge. The robot was created by Elizabeth Truong, which acts as a sous chef, keeping the workflow as efficient as possible and getting out your next meal within minutes. The restaurant, however, does not fully lose the human touch as people still assemble the patty and other ingredients.
Today on campus, El Grupo de Teatro and Español Club held an event in the Becker Amphitheater to reach out to the Latin American Cal State Fullerton community. The man, the myth, the legend, Gavin Sanders has a story.
Today we're at the beautiful campus of Cal State Fullerton, where the Grupo de Teatro en Español is putting on an event for Latin American Cal State Fullerton students to come and enjoy a banda and some mariachis with some beautiful live music and some giveaways.
Our mission is to tell the stories, struggles, and experiences of the Latino community. And today we bring to you guys our Bilingual Theater Festival. So it's a big, fun celebration showcasing Latino theater, student performances, music, and culture.
It's actually pretty nice, super fun. They've done a couple of raffles. I actually got a goodie bag as well. And I won this bag by answering a simple question.
Originally, I only joined this club like last Tuesday. So I was like, they told me about this event they had coming up. It's just like part of the getting involved with the culture and Hispanic and all that. So it's very exciting. And then you get people like me from the Hispanic community to get to show off a little bit of their culture. So
if you missed the event today from the Grupo de Teatro en Español, don't worry, it is annual, so they will be back next year. As always, I'm Gavin Sanders, OC News. Stay classy, Fullerton.
California ranks as the world's fourth largest economy, yet many residents don't feel the benefits. Reporter Violeta Sanchez explores the widening wealth gap and its impact on young adults in Southern California.
In Orange County, luxury high-rises apartments like these symbolize a booming economy in California. With rooftop pools and lounges, rent can reach up to $5,000 a month. But just blocks away from the glitz, some residents are barely getting by.
Rent is expensive, and because the cost of living is expensive, those that have jobs are doing okay. Those that do not have jobs are not doing okay.
On one side of the street, it's luxury apartments, enhanced security, and high-speed internet. On the other side, it's aging homes, rising rents, and families barely holding on. It's not about economics. It's about the gaps between two Californias living side by side.
In neighborhoods that have houses built from the 50s are now renting by the room and still cost more than $2,000 a month. Tiffany Zamora is a part of the growing group of young adults who say the California dream feels out of reach.
It's like harder to like hold like your money for like your own personal things, because as college students they want to go out, they want to and like discover like what else is like out here, and it kind of makes it difficult to like, I need to save money for my bill. I need to survive.
Students like Tiffany juggle with school, work, and the anxiety of entering one of the most expensive housing markets in the nation.
I had to be, a little bit stricter on like the things, because housing was a lot more expensive. And I think that's a lot with like a lot of students here now, because I hear people's like rents, and it's definitely $1,000+. It's nothing below, and it's rare to find anything below that.
According to a recent study by the Public Policy Institute of California, nearly 55% of adults ages 18 through 34 are living with family, which is the highest rate in over 2 decades. Experts point to decades of restrictive zoning, underbuilding, and wage stagnation, all fueling the wealth gap.
I think it's an affordability issue that needs to be addressed directly for lower income people. And I'm right back to housing again. If you've got to spend, more than half of your income just to have a roof over your head, that's a big problem.
In a state that leads the world in innovation, the question now is, can it lead in equity? Because as California climbs the global ladder, more of its residents are being left behind. In Fullerton, Violeta Sanchez with OC News.
With the sports world in a frenzy, including Titans softball, NBA playoffs, and the NFL draft just wrapping up, our wannabe Mel Kiper gives out his grades to each NFL team. Alex, take it away.
That's a lot coming from a wannabe David Muir. Anyway, good evening, sports fans. From college sports to professional sports, we have a lot to cover, so let's get into it. The softball team has been electric on the diamond and have not lost in the month of April. Over the weekend, the softball team swept UC Riverside and moved their win streak to 14 games. In the final game of the series this weekend, the Titans got off to a late start, scoring 5 of their team's 6 runs in the final 2 innings. In the 7th inning, Natalie Lozano drove home 2 runs after this 2 RBI single to right field. Riverside struggled at the plate, only scoring 2 runs in the entire game. Eva Hurtado led the Titans and finished the day with 6 innings pitched and 5 strikeouts. The team plays again today against the number 5 seed UCLA. And the Lakers and the Timberwolves have had a great series so far, but after tonight, the series could be over. Here is my recap on the series and the keys that I believe will help the Lakers keep this series alive. The Lakers are led by superstar Luka Doncic, who is averaging just under 30 points per game this season. On the other side of the court, the Timberwolves are led by Anthony Edwards, who has come in and dominated the series so far, scoring 43 points in Game 4. He is also joined by Julius Randle, who has been tearing it up on the interior, scoring 22 or more points in the last 3 games. If the Lakers do want to force a Game 6 after tonight, they are going to have to show bodies in the paint and hold down the interior, because we all know in basketball, good defense translates to good offense. I believe if Coach J.J. Redick can scheme up some double teams for Ant and force the Wolves role players to shoot, we could definitely be going back to target center for Game 6. And the NFL draft concluded this weekend. Some teams had great drafts and some drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. Here is a few of my draft grades. First, we'll start with the Browns. See, this is probably the worst draft in NFL history. An F- is my grade for them. You draft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, and then you go for Shedeur Sanders, who is already going to have a lot of problems. Deion's going to want to be super hands-on. It's just not a great team. I mean, you have Kenny Pickett, full of mid-quarterbacks. Not very good. Sorry. But next, we'll go on to the Packers, who drafted Matthew Golden. Great receiving help for Jordan Love. They also drafted some offensive line to give him some protection and give him some room. Could see the Packers having a good jump this year. Also, one of the biggest leaps I think we'll see this year is the Patriots. I give them an A-. They drafted Will Campbell with the 4th pick out of LSU. There was a lot of reports coming out saying he had short arms, but this dude's an absolute beast. He's going to run over every single one of your defensive tackles. They also got a receiver out of Washington State who's speedy and is going to help Drake May throw some touchdowns. Also, the Saints, they're not as bad as the Browns, but let's just say their future is also cooked. They have no quarterback. They're in a really bad situation, and they draft Tyler Show in the 2nd round. It's a reach. And last but certainly not least, the best draft in the entire day. My Las Vegas Raiders get an A+. You go Gene T at 5. Gene T at 5, come on. And then you draft 2 offensive linemen in the 3rd round who are going to be day 1 starters. You draft a 6'4" wide receiver who runs a 4.3 in the 4th round. Come on, Geno Smith's going to lead the league in touchdowns. Anyways, that's all I have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Raiders and A+ should never be in the same sentence.
I agree. Go Rams.
Anyways, coming up after the break, learn about this alumni turned volleyball coach who is challenging the face of the program.
And learn how denim jeans can support survivors of sexual violence. Stay with us.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out? You
could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's all good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back to the show. We go now to the world of glitz, glam, and lawsuits. Here's Andrea Restrepo with our entertainment report.
From courtroom drama with Kim Kardashian and Diddy to Miami's wild Bad Bunny lookalike contest, here's what's buzzing in entertainment today. Kim Kardashian's 2016 Paris robbery trial is finally underway, with her expected to testify on May 13th. First up, the long-awaited trial for the 2016 Paris robbery of Kim Kardashian has commenced. 10 individuals dubbed the Grandpa Robbers, due to their ages, are facing charges for the $10 million heist. Among them, Yunus Abbas, 71, expressed deep regret over his involvement, stating he never considered the impact on victims until this case. Kim Kardashian is expected to testify on May 13th. Sean Diddy Combs is set to face trial on May 5th in New York for serious charges including sex trafficking and racketeering. In other legal news, Sean Diddy Combs is set to begin his federal trial on May 5th in New York. He's facing serious charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering, stemming from a federal investigation that led to his arrest in September 2024. If convicted, he could face up to life in prison. Miami recently held a Bad Bunny lookalike contest, with fans competing to mimic the reggaeton star. On a lighter note, Miami recently hosted a Bad Bunny lookalike contest at Roberto Clemente Park. Fans dressed as a reggaeton star and showcased their best impressions, with finalists reciting Bad Bunny lyrics to prove their resemblance. Kevin Amaro was crowned the winner, impressing judges with his striking similarity to the artist. That's your entertainment roundup for today. Stay tuned for more updates. Now back to Guadalupe and Jonathan at the desk. The Cal State Fullerton volleyball team ended last year with a 19-game losing streak, prompting a national search for a new head coach of the program. Peter Gibbs has the scoop on the 9th head coach in the Titan volleyball history.
Oh, feed in! That's feed in!
Once a Titan, always a Titan. Cal State Fullerton has a familiar face to be its new volleyball head coach, Nikki Cannon.
It was such a tough decision for me because I genuinely love this place. And it always felt like home to me.
When the head coaching position opened up, Cannon knew she had to apply. During the search, she showed promising traits to the CSUF search committee and co-chair Sarah Perry.
She was able to communicate to us her ability to set a leadership program for these student athletes, her enthusiasm for making sure these student athletes are students first, but also more importantly, making sure they're good people.
After a 3-year stint with the UC Riverside Highlanders, Cannon is back with Fullerton. She hopes to use all of her past experiences to build something with the Titans.
All those different skill sets and abilities to like network and, you know, manage a program, a staff, a team, everything from like, you know, the fundraising to the organization, everything that goes on behind the scenes and just like the connecting with players has helped me.
To implement her vision, Cannon hired some trusted coaches from her time with UCR. For Kenny Ma, knowing what Cannon brings to work every day made the choice easy.
There's nothing but good things to say about her. You know, the number one thing is she's just always positive. She's loving, She doesn't have an ego. She allows me to do my thing. She completely trusts me, and I feel like I can be myself and I can be the best person I can be.
Head coach Nikki Cannon joined the Fullerton squad on February 4th, 2025 after a long national search from Fullerton. And since then, she's trying to take the team to new heights, just like this.
Year one, Big West Conference tournament, top 6. That's our goal. Once we make that tournament, it's anyone's game, like in any given Sunday type of conference.
I think a lot of our coaches, we have very similar goals and expectations for our program. Rebranding our program, building a brand new culture. We call it like the new era of Fullerton volleyball. You know, we want to bring success to the program.
Cannon and her team know that the journey will have its ups and downs, but the new bench boss wouldn't have it any other way as long as she's at Fullerton.
Hey. There's just some moments when you're like, you know where you're supposed to be. I could not have lived with the thought of anyone else being in the seat. Like, I just felt like this is where I belong.
Once the spring semester finishes, Coach Cannon and her team will be hard at work to establish her culture with brand new transfer students and incoming recruits. For OC News, I'm Peter Gibbs.
Retailer and tech giant Amazon began their mission to bring worldwide internet earlier this week with the launch of their first batch of internet satellites. Amazon's Kuiper internet service mission kicked off with the launch of 27 internet-capable satellites. The first group marks the beginning of about 3,200 low-atmosphere satellites that will bring broadband internet to the world in hopes of rivaling Elon Musk's Starlink program. The Atlas V rocket that carried the payload took off out of Cape Canaveral Monday night, with launches projected to continue until July 2026.
In celebration of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Titan Thrive is hosting their last annual event with denim. Raylene DeLeo has the story.
Here at CSUF, Titan Thrive is hosting their final event in support of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, using denim.
So today is Denim Day. It's always held on the last Wednesday of April, an opportunity for allies to show their solidarity and support with survivors of sexual violence. By wearing denim, it's a way to demonstrate that folks don't accept violence in their relationships or communities, and that we reject victim blaming and myths around sexual assault.
So part of Titan Thrive is we support faculty, student, and staff that have been impacted by sexual violence or dating violence. That's just an umbrella term that we use, but many other things can happen underneath that umbrella. And basically what we're doing today is it's Denim Day. So it's just a global movement that we use to kind of just like bring awareness. I think when it comes to working within our department specifically, is it doesn't matter if it happened 5 days ago, 10 years ago, if it's impacting you today, we're here for you. And you don't even have to tell us like your complete story. If you tell us that something happened to you, we will believe you and we will help you to our best of our ability.
Titan Health is excited to launch this event yet again next year. Don't forget to come and donate your jeans this Friday at Titan Health. This is Raylene DeLeo with OC News.
Social media has been buzzing this past week, sparking a debate on if 100 men can take out one gorilla in the ultimate fight to death. Connor Raleigh has a story.
With finals week right around the corner, many students are stressed out about whether they're going to pass their tests or pass their classes. But there's one question that's been on everyone's mind, and that's this. Will 100 men defeat one gorilla in the ultimate fight to the death? We went around campus asking students, and here are their responses.
100 men, because a gorilla is going to be scared of that large body of guys. Although the gorilla may be overstimulated and might go banana crazy, if all 100 men who are willing to kill that gorilla rush it, they can kill the gorilla. They can just beat it.
The internet has generated its own simulation of what might happen if 100 men fight one gorilla, and it's safe to say that that gorilla is not going down without a fight.
That kind of changed my mind. I honestly think the gorilla would take it, because I mean, that's a big boy right there, you know? I honestly think he'll take them all out. I mean, small chance that the 100 men will win, but I gotta take the gorilla on this one. Okay, cool.
I think 100 men. However, like 80 of the dudes would die, so there'd only be like 20 left. Like if you just have like 100 randos, probably not. But if you like find 100 guys that are like, I can beat this gorilla, then yeah.
With the stress of finals at an all-time high, it's always fun to ask questions to get students' minds off of certain things. 100 men or one gorilla? Who wins in the ultimate fight to the death? Reporting from Fullerton, I'm Connor Raleigh, OC News.
100 men? They just need one of me.
Well, I gotta love their confidence, but thankfully no one here is fighting gorillas. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's show. Make sure you tune in for next Wednesday for our final show of the semester. I'm Guadalupe Caballero.
And I'm Jonathan Zarate. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at OC News CSUF and at Titan TV CSUF. You stay classy, Fullerton, and have a good night.